no one gave him a shot, right? I mean, just no one.
Yeah, no, for sure, except for them, which we can talk about. But this is way bigger than that win, because that win at the end of the day didn't matter. I know fans love to beat Dallas and all, but like that team stunk. This game matters. This could save their season. The other game I would actually put with this one, and we're gonna need a couple weeks to figure out the full context of this, because if they go lose 4 in a row, then this is much less big, and maybe it is on par with that one. But the Tampa game 2 years ago, when they came back and saved their season in that game, it's the only one that being here, which are the 3 they've been good under Jay, or had the winning records under Jay, even if last year's was barely. That's the only win that compares to this one in terms of context and of the greater season, of feeling like everything was slipping away. Feeling like there was no way you were going to win, because in that game they were down 24-3. Offense was snapped. There was, for most of the game, the only points were scored with their offense on the field by the Seattle defense on the safety. So that's the only win I put with this one. It's unprecedented in every single way.
Was that the Code Red game? The Tampa game? Yeah,
yes.
Right.
Now, there were so many great defensive performances for the Redskins individually. Swearinger, Hall, Zach Brown, Will Compton, Kendall Fuller. I want you to give me your defensive MVP.
I think Swearinger the MVP. The play on the 2-point conversion is just incredible. The recognition, and then to really kind of bait Russell Wilson into that throw, it's an incredible play. And if he had finished it off with the full return, that would have been, play of the year category. And then he also played a ton of deep balls really well. He was impactful against the run like he always is. That dude's he's a great safety. I can't say the exact quote D'Angelo Hall said about him after the game, but the edited version is he's a bleeping baller. And D'Angelo said he's the best safety he's played with, or one of the best safeties he's played with, and that includes in the Pro Bowl. So I think Swearinger makes that entire engine go, but every other single guy that you mentioned is worthy of being mentioned as well. Compton was incredible. Brown was as good as he has been. I thought D'Angelo was unbelievable considering his circumstances. Kendall Fuller was great. Like, all in all, they were all really good. Kerrigan was impactful. Like, everybody mattered yesterday. They needed every single bit of it.
Tackle on 3rd and 1.
Yeah, I mean, look, you could say Norman arguably had one of his worst games, but that's just because he's so damn good all the time, because he let up that touchdown to Baldwin where he was super mad at himself after the game, as you can imagine about it. But, yeah, that play is huge. He's physical and impactful in the run game. It's hard. I mean, his job in a way is harder because he's so good, because teams so rarely go at him. And all of a sudden, when he's called into action, to be able to say, no, down in, down out, I have the mental fortitude to stay focused is incredible. And he and I actually talked about that a little bit this week, where he was so mad at the Dallas game. He's like, they won't test me. And he's just, like, incredulous. He can't believe that teams won't attack him. And I'm kind of like, Josh, what do you expect, man? Like, when they do, it doesn't work. And sure enough, yesterday they do get the one to Baldwin late, which is almost a killer. But all in all in that game, he's fantastic as well.
These next couple of weeks, now that they've already got the head-to-head with Seattle, these next couple of weeks are vital against Minnesota and New Orleans for the same reasons. I've already said I think they're going to sweep the Giants. The Giants are awful, so I give them 2 more wins there, and I think they'll beat at least one of these 2, Arizona and Denver, probably both. So if they can find a way to beat New Orleans or Minnesota, you're looking at 9 wins there. What are your thoughts? I mean, how many wins do you think it's going to take to get one of the wild cards?
Jason has them at 8-4 right now.
Yeah, I do.
I mean, it's incredible that this is where we are, considering, like, last week I was getting asked is the season over, but here we are. There's so much traffic, and that's the hard part, right? Like, you have all these good teams. You have Carolina, you have Minnesota, you have New Orleans. Like, only one of those teams between Carolina and New Orleans can win the division, and the Falcons are still floating out there as the defending, NFC champions. Like, Minnesota, what are they going to do? And is there another team in that division that can challenge them? Between the Seahawks and Rams, like, one of those teams isn't winning the division. It would seem like they're going to get in. So it's going to take at least 9, and it might take 10.
Yep.
And I'm curious to see what the reaction would be if they get to 9 through this schedule, through the injuries, and still don't make the playoffs. Like, how mad could you really be at that? But I think, Jason, you're right. Like, one of the next two ones you have to win. You can't put that much pressure on yourself to basically sweep the end of the regular season. Go 1-1 the next 2 weeks. I don't care which one it is, although it might matter based off tiebreakers and stuff. I think you'd really probably rather beat New Orleans because, between New Orleans, Carolina, that's probably more likely to be the tiebreaker, if I'm remembering correctly, than Minnesota, who's probably going to win the North, if I'm remembering my standings correctly.
Mm-hmm.
But still, you get either one of those. You're on track. You're in good position. Then to see if you can get hot and go on a run and maybe get to that 10-win plateau. It's going to be tough, but again, this is not an easy test that they're facing, and they're not getting an A+ on it. But man, they're passing, and right now that's all you can really hope for. And then you hope if they can get some of these injured guys back, you can get Trent back, you can get Sheriff back, you can get Reed back, get Crowder back, that maybe you get hot and go on a run and really put yourself in position to make a playoffs.